Here is a fun fact for you. As of today, August 13th, 2025, the Eiffel Tower's famous nighttime sparkle has been replaced. Yes, replaced. It's now powered by 4 interns on bicycles hooked up to a generator, and on most nights, they give up after about 20 minutes. This isn't a quirky, eco-friendly initiative. This is Paris. A city that once defined elegance and progress, now running on tired intern power. It's a sad, sputtering symbol for a metropolis in a shocking state of decline. Paris, the city of love, art, and philosophy, is now the city of, well, problems. Big, stinky, complicated problems. How did we get here? How did the global icon of romance turn into a cautionary tale so quickly? It wasn't one single disaster. Oh no, that would be too simple. It was a perfect storm, a delightful cocktail of terrible political decisions, festering social unrest, and an economy that decided to take a permanent vacation. Think of it like a souffle. It looked magnificent, rising higher and higher, but then someone, probably a politician in a very expensive suit, slammed the oven door. Let's talk about bread, specifically the baguette, that beautiful, crusty symbol of French identity. Well, in the winter of 2024, its price hit an unthinkable €7. 7 for flour, water, and yeast. This wasn't just inflation, this was a declaration of war. What followed were the Great Baguette Riots. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Like something out of a cartoon, but it was deadly serious. Thousands of Parisians, from students to pensioners, took to the streets. They weren't just angry about bread, they were angry about everything. The baguette was just the final crunchy straw. The social fabric of Paris had been fraying for years. Think of Marie, a 65-year-old retired schoolteacher from the 15th arrondissement. She told a reporter she had to choose between heating her small apartment and buying fresh vegetables. The government's solution? A new solidarity tax on streaming services? Yes, really. While people couldn't afford rent, the brilliant minds in charge decided the real problem was that you weren't paying enough for Netflix. It was a masterclass in missing the point. The riots weren't a one-off event. They were the violent symptom of a deep-seated disease. The city became a checkerboard of no-go zones, not because of crime in the traditional sense, but because of perpetual protests. Paris was always a global economic powerhouse. Fashion, tourism, luxury goods. It sold the world an expensive, beautiful dream. But dreams, it turns out, don't pay the bills when reality comes knocking. And reality came knocking with a sledgehammer. The city's economy in 2025 is an absolute train wreck. The official unemployment rate in the Greater Paris region is hovering at a staggering 18%. For youth under 25, it's closer to 40%. So, what happened? First, a massive over-reliance on tourism. After a series of global health scares and economic downturns, international travel slumped. The endless river of tourist money that Paris took for granted slowed to a trickle. The city's leadership had put all their economic eggs in one very fancy, very fragile basket. And that basket, predictably, was dropped, from a great height, onto concrete. Then came the innovation hub fiasco. In a desperate bid to rebrand as a tech capital, the city poured billions into a sprawling tech campus in the suburbs. The problem? They offered massive tax breaks to foreign tech giants who in turn created very few local jobs and siphoned their profits offshore. It was a classic case of being starstruck by shiny logos. Meanwhile, local artisans, bakers, and booksellers, the very soul of Parisian commerce, were crushed by rising rents and suffocating regulations. Remember the plan to make the Seine swimmable for the 2024 Olympics? That was a nice idea. A lovely, photogenic, utterly delusional idea. Right now, in August 2025, swimming in the Seine would be less of an athletic feat and more of a cry for help. The river isn't just polluted, it's a vibrant, unnatural shade of green. This isn't a charming algae bloom. This is the result of years of neglect, crumbling infrastructure, and a series of climate-related disasters that Paris was woefully unprepared for. The problem started with a series of record-breaking heat waves. The summer of 2024 was brutal, and 2025 is shaping up to be even worse. These extreme temperatures, combined with severe droughts, lowered the river's water levels to historic lows. The city's ancient sewer system, a mix of 19th century marvel and 21st century decay, couldn't handle the strain. During intense climate change-fueled rainstorms, it would overflow, dumping raw sewage directly into the river. But wait, it gets better. The city's grand environmental plan, Paris Vert 2030, was a masterpiece of greenwashing. It focused on flashy, high-visibility projects like planting a few thousand trees on a rooftop, while completely ignoring the boring essential stuff. They wanted the headline, "Paris plants a forest on a building," not the less sexy, "Paris spends 10 years fixing its poop pipes." The consequences are now impossible to ignore. The air quality is frequently at hazardous levels, with smog warnings becoming a near daily occurrence. So here we are, Paris 2025, a city of breathtaking beauty now holding its breath. It stands as a stark, heartbreaking warning to the rest of the world. It shows us that no city, no matter how historic, how beloved, or how culturally significant, is immune to the consequences of bad governance, social division, and willful ignorance. The downfall wasn't sudden. It was a slow, creeping decay, hidden beneath a veneer of glamour. The story of Paris is the story of complacency. Other great cities should be looking at Paris and taking frantic notes. They should see the ghost of their own potential future in its struggling streets and its murky, green river. This isn't just a French tragedy. It's a global lesson. The glory of the past is no guarantee of the future, and as we watch this iconic city grapple with its failures, as we see the interns pedaling furiously to light up a fraction of its former glory, we are forced to ask a deeply uncomfortable question. If this can happen to Paris, the city of light and love, what city is next?